A hooded figure stands in an ancient Egyptian tomb, having come because of a journal that has guided him that says the bridge between life and death can be unlocked here. Before him is a slab depicting the nameless pharaoh facing off against another being. Around the pharaoh's neck is the Millennium Pendant. The figure facing him also wears a similarly shaped item around his neck, only it is inverted. The man reads his notes, instructing him to hold up the 3 Duel Monster cards in his hand to the slab. When he does, the stone begins to shake and a black aura emits from its cracks. There is a sudden black flash, the man screams, and the screen fades to black. Yugi, Taya, Tristan, Joey, and Mai are having lunch together. Mai is telling them about her latest tournament win in America, a gauntlet hosted by the Card Professors Guild, a collection of 13 duelists in America who are notorious for winning tournaments across the country to accumulate the prize money. Joey says he can't wait to graduate so that he can hit the road and duel around the world like Mai. Mai laments though that the win felt cheap because the leader of the Card Professors, Richie Merced, was supposed to be the final duel, but he no-showed.
Maybe he saw how you wiped the floor with the first 12 and chickened out.
I wouldn't blame him. That's weird. No one has seen him in a while.
As they leave the restaurant, Ishizu meets them outside. Yugi notices a worried expression on her face and asks what's wrong. She tells Yugi that someone disturbed an unknown tomb in Egypt, and when they went to investigate, a dark force erupted from within and shot at her, but Merrick pushed her out of the way, and he's been unconscious ever since. Odeon carried him out as they escaped, but before that happened, she shares what they managed to find. A stone slab which depicted a battle between the nameless pharaoh and a being referred to on the inscription as Anubis, who wore around his neck what appeared to resemble an upside-down millennium puzzle, referred to on the inscription as the Pyramid of Light. The tablet went on to describe that the pharaoh had defeated this so-called Anubis, then sealed him in the Pyramid of Light and placed a triple seal on the tomb, each powered by one of the Egyptian gods. Taya wonders if that dark force could be Anubis, but Yugi asks how anything could unlock something sealed with the might of Slifer, Obelisk, and Ra. Ishizu says that's exactly what worried her. She would have asked Pegasus, but news of his alleged death had spread, so she came to Yugi so they could head to Pegasus' island to search for answers. Kaiba is overseeing the construction of the new Kaibaland Park in America, but during the nights, he is still thinking about his loss to Yugi in Battle City and how helpless it seems to try to reclaim the title of King of Duelists now that Yugi holds all 3 Egyptian god cards. At that moment, a mysterious figure with green hair walks into the room. Kaiba demands to know who he is, but as he takes a closer look, he realizes he knows him. The man quietly says that he has a way to defeat the god cards. Kaiba, intrigued, tells the man he has his attention and gestures to the seat across his desk. The group arrives at Pegasus' island, and when they enter upon the duel arena, a familiar voice greets them in the dark.
Returning to the scene of the crime. You dweebs are so predictable.
That voice. It can't be.
The lights turn on, and Bandit Keith reveals himself. Joey turns pale and screams,
It's a ghost!
Oh, I'm as real as it gets. But if it's a ghost you want, I'm happy to make one out of you.
Yugi asks Bandit Keith what he's doing here and, more importantly, how he survived the penalty game Pegasus inflicted on him. Keith laughs that if they want answers, they'll have to duel them out of him. He readies a black duel disc and points to Joey.
You first, dweeb.
I don't know where you came from, Keith, but ghost or not, you're going down!
Ishizu says she'll explore the castle and search for answers, and Mai says she'll come with her while the rest stay to support Joey. The duel starts, and Joey is slowly building up a clear advantage, able to play around all of Keith's machines and stifling his traps with Jinzo. Keith is on the ropes, but when he draws his next card, he smugly says,
Don't get your hopes up, dork. You're still no match for my newest weapon.
He's bluffing! Just keep an eye on those wristbands!
Yugi doesn't say anything, but he felt a force the moment Keith drew that card. Joey thinks to himself that he can ordinarily tell when a duelist is bluffing, but he's not getting that vibe from Keith. He readies himself.
Bring it on, Keith.
Mai and Ishizu are searching through Pegasus' study. Ishizu comes across an envelope addressed to the Chosen Duelist. Within it is a card she has never seen before, and upon reading its effect, thinks to herself that it may be of use to Yugi. Mai stumbles across drawings of what appear to be Slifer, Obelisk, and Ra, but somehow different. She says to Ishizu that maybe it was Pegasus' first draft of the Egyptian god cards. Ishizu looks at them, but doubts that to be the case. As she continues her search, a figure enters the room.
Merrick, you're okay.
Ishizu runs to hug him, but Mai holds out her arm to stop her. She asks Merrick how he knew they were here. Merrick smirks. He holds out a black duel disc, activating it to duel.
It's the same one as Keith had. Could that dark force from the tomb be behind this?
Guess we'll have to duel him to find out.
I'll free my brother this time.
Ishizu readies her duel disc, but Mai again holds out her arm.
Allow me, Shizu. If something evil is controlling Merrick, then I have a score to settle.
She readies her duel disc while Ishizu steps back.
I understand, Mai, but please, be careful.
Don't you remember what happened the last time we dueled?
You don't have the power of Ra this time. I won't break a sweat.
Merrick coldly smiles.
If only you knew the power that lurks in my deck.
The two begin their duel. Merrick falls to his usual tactics of building a defense with Revival Gem and locking down Mai's monsters with a suite of nightmare cards like Wheel and Mirror. However, Mai is able to counter and take advantage in life points and field presence, with 3 Cyber Harpies and Pet Dragon ready to go for game.
You want the power of a god? Then I'll give it to you!
He sacrifices 3 monsters and calls forth a monster by the name of
The Wicked Dreadroot!
A giant monster emerges, blowing the roof off the room as Ishizu and Mai brace themselves from the force of its power. A black aura encircles Merrick. His pupils have a tint of red, and his hair has started to stick up, resembling the look of Yamimel.
That looks like Obelisk, the Tormentor.
No, it's the one from the drawing. But how did Merrick get a hold of it?
So many questions from someone who's about to die!
Merrick's voice now resembles Merrick's as well. Dreadroot has the attack of all monsters on the field and destroys the pet dragon. Merrick laughs as Mai screams from the pain of an attack that feels all too real. She thinks to herself, not this. Not again.
Behold my latest weapon, the Wicked Eraser!
Keith tributes 3 monsters, and as he does, lightning tears through the ceiling, and from the sky emerges the beast. The whole gang is shocked to see what appears to be an evil version of Slifer, the Sky Dragon. A black aura encircles Keith, just as it did Merrick, and his pupils too transition to red, and his hair spikes up. Keith uses the Wicked Eraser's effect, destroying itself to destroy all other cards on the field. A surge of lightning hits the field, and Joey as well, electrocuting him in the process. Yugi is taken aback by how real it looks, shouting,
But this isn't a shadow game! Any duel involving the black duel disc will be a shadow game, and the loser has to give up their life.
Everyone's eyes widen in horror. Tristan shouts,
Fight it, Joey!
Yugi can't help but feel the similarities from Battle City, and as he watches the Wicked Eraser electrocute Joey, he sees in his mind the horrid memory of Ra burning his best friend.
You survived a god before, Joey! You can do it again!
As the smoke from the electric blast clears, Joey is laying on the ground. His life points didn't hit 0, but unable to move, Keith declares himself the winner and says Joey has been sacrificed. Yugi finds the choice of words odd.
Sacrificed? What could that mean?
Keith then points to Yugi.
You're next, twerp.
I'm not done with you yet.
Joey slowly stands back up.
What? How could a scrub like you survive the wrath of a wicked god?
Yugi's eyes widen as he thinks to himself.
So that is a wicked version of Slifer. But how did Keith get it?
Taya and Tristan rally behind Joey, saying now that the field has been cleared by the eraser, Joey need only summon a monster to attack for game.
It's my turn. Draw.
Joey draws a card. He gently places it on his duel disc. Gearfried, The Iron Knight appears. Joey's knees start to give. Mai is on one knee and holding a hand to her chest as she tries to catch her breath. The damage to Mai has caused the darkness around Merrick to strengthen, and now he fully resembles Yami Merrick.
There's no card in your deck that can save you from the wrath of a wicked god!
Ishizu's eyes widen and she thinks to herself,
A wicked god?
She then remembers the drawings for the wicked versions of Slifer and Ra and surmises if that could have been the power that unleashed that dark force from the tomb of Anubis. She then recalls the black dual disc Keith had and looks toward the door, terrified by the idea that Joey may be in trouble as well. She turns back to Mai.
Mai, listen to me. If these things are anything like the Egyptian gods, your monster effects won't do you any good. But some spells and traps can have a temporary effect.
Mai nods and smiles. She stands back up.
Merrick! I won't back down this time. It's my move.
Mai holds out the card she just drew and through the corner of her eyes sees she has the answer. She activates Phoenix Formation, transforming the three cybers into a blazing phoenix. Phoenix Formation is treated as a battle, so it can destroy even a god card, but Merrick scoffs that such a maneuver won't work on a god so long as it has more attack than the Harpies.
Need I remind you, my dear, the wicked Dreadroot has halved the attack of all of your monsters!
Mai smiles.
Then I guess it's a good thing I have this.
She reveals the card she just drew, Harpies Featherstorm.
It seems Dreadroot hit you too hard in the head. You can't activate a trap from your hand, you fool!
The only fool here is you.
Mai explains that when she has a Harpy Lady on the field, she can activate Featherstorm directly from her hand, and thanks to its effect, Dreadroot's effect is negated for the turn. This bumps her Harpies back up to a total of 5,400 attack.
That's more than enough to wipe out your so-called god and the rest of your life points.
But how could I lose with the power of a wicked god?
The Phoenix Formation pierces through Dreadroot, engulfing it in flames and incinerating Merrick's life points.
No!
It takes a while for the smoke to clear, but when it does, Merrick has returned to normal and his black dual disc looks like a normal one. He opens his eyes and sees Ishizu.
Sister, how did I get here?
You don't remember dueling Mai.
The last thing I remember is that dark force attacking us in the tomb.
Whatever it was must have controlled you and brought you here.
Do you remember who gave you that wicked god card?
Wicked god? What's that?
Mai searches through his deck, but can't find the card.
How could it just disappear like that?
I don't know, but we should head back. If Merrick had a wicked god, it's possible Keith has one too.
Joey is on his knees. His vision has blurred and the voices of his friends are hardly audible. But one sound is unmistakable. That laugh. Keith's laugh. No way will he ever allow that laugh to get the best of him.
Gifreed. Attack!
At the attack declaration, Keith's laugh abruptly stops. Gearfried strikes and Keith's life points hit 0. The moment they do, a black aura emits from his dual disc and plunges into his chest until Keith is fully surrounded by it. By the time it fades, Keith is gone, and in his place is a man none of them recognize. Ishizu, Merrick, and Mai enter the arena. Mai and Ishizu catch the rest of the gang up to speed. When Mai mentions that the possessed Merrick was using a wicked version of Obelisk, Joey chimes in saying he just defeated a wicked version of Slifer. Ishizu informs them of the drawings they found of the wicked gods and reveals her theory that these cards may be behind the disturbance in the tomb that could unlock seals powered by the Egyptian gods.
But that means there's still one more, right? The wicked version of Ra. Who has it?
That's not the only mystery. Check out what happened after I beat Keith. He turned into some guy I've never seen before.
Joey points to the unconscious man, and Mai recognizes him right away.
That's Richie Merced, the card professor who had suddenly vanished right before the gauntlet.
But what's he doing here? And where did Keith go?
Perhaps I can answer that.
A man with green hair walks in. He too has a black dual disc, and as he nears them, Keith's dual disc, that is now on the arm of Richie, Yugi's dual disc, and the new figure's dual disc all start pulsating with an intense energy. The Pharaoh cautions Yugi to be careful as the god cards have never reacted in such a manner. Tristan points at the man and shouts,
Tell us who you are and what's going on here.
But of course, my name is Yako Tenma, and the man you see lying before you is indeed Richie Merced.
Why was he pretending to be a lowlife like Bandit Keith?
Pretending? I can assure you that Keith was very much real. I had simply offered Mr. Merced as a tribute to revive Keith.
You revived him? But how?
With the power of this!
Yako holds his hands over his chest, palms facing inward, and between them appears a necklace, attached to which is a blue pyramid.
That's the same relic that Anubis wore in the slab.
Then he must be the one who disturbed the tomb!
I see you have found your way to the tomb as well. Yes, I found the tomb of Anubis in search of his power. This is the Pyramid of Light. It has the ability to resurrect the dead.
But why Keith, all people?
Keith was simply a test run. Unfortunately, he didn't uphold his end of the bargain. So, back to hell he goes, and lucky Mr. Merced gets to keep his life.
If he was a test run, then who are you trying to revive?
A wonderful question, Yugi, and one we can answer with a duel.
Yug, you don't need to duel this creep.
Joey's right, Yugi. It sounds like he's trying to sacrifice you.
Your friends are correct. Of course, if you don't stop me. There are plenty of others I can sacrifice, and none of them would stand a chance against the wicked gods.
Yugi. He must have the last one. He must have the wicked Ra.
Yako kneels down to the unconscious Richie Merced and pulls out the cards from the dual disc that Keith had used in his duel against Joey. When he pulls out the wicked eraser, the black dual disc reverts to normal.
That dual disc! It changed when he took the card out!
Just like Marek's did after I defeated him.
Could that mean he took the wicked Dreadroot in the middle of the smoke?
Truly, you could all be great crime solvers.
Yako shuffles the wicked eraser into his deck, then readies his dual disc, pointing his arm at Yugi.
Shall we commence the battle of the gods?
Yugi changes into the Pharaoh and readies his dual disc.
My Pharaoh, I believe this may be of use to you.
Ishizu hands the Pharaoh the card she found in Pegasus' study. Yako glares, thinking to himself that there's no way it could be that card. The Pharaoh thanks Ishizu and shuffles the new card into his deck. The two begin their duel. The duel starts off mild with both duelists feeling each other out. But when the Pharaoh sees his chance to strike, he summons Slifer the Sky Dragon as his friends cheer. Yako laughs and on his next turn calls forth the Wicked Eraser.
Oh no, that's the one Keith used on me.
The wicked Slifer, the Sky Dragon.
Yako activates its effect to destroy itself and all other cards on the field.
But monster effects don't work on Slifer.
Haven't you been paying attention? It's not a monster. It's a god.
The electric explosion wipes out Slifer and causes an intense pain to the Pharaoh.
But why would Pegasus create wicked versions of the Egyptian god cards?
A dark aura starts to surround Yako, and his voice has become slightly darker and deeper, his pupils red like Keith and Marek prior. Yako explains that after Pegasus created the Egyptian god cards, he realized their power could be used for destruction, so he set off to create a counter to them. Except, he only designed the wicked gods. He didn't finish their creation, finding them to be even more dangerous.
Then who created them?
It wasn't hard for someone who watched the man create thousands of cards. I learned from the best.
You? Could that mean...
Yes. Pegasus was my adoptive father, and he had his life stolen from him. And when I defeat you, Yugi, I can sacrifice you to revive him.
Pegasus was murdered?
Then why you after us? Shouldn't you go after whoever killed Pegasus?
It doesn't matter who performed the deed. Pegasus accepted death the moment Yugi defeated him. It is only fair that he be offered as the sacrifice.
My fight with Pegasus was a battle between two duelists. But I know nothing I say will change your mind, so allow my duel to speak for itself. Draw!
The Pharaoh uses a combo to bring out Obelisk, but Yako is unfazed. On his turn, he calls forth the Wicked Dreadroot.
There it is! That's the one Merrick used on me!
The wicked Obelisk the Tormentor!
That is correct. But now it is time to see which one reigns supreme. Dreadroot, destroy Obelisk.
Both of our monsters have 4,000 attack. They'll both be wiped out.
Guess again. The Wicked Dreadroot has a special effect that halves the attack of all of the monsters on the field.
The two gods collide fists, but with Obelisk's attack halved, Dreadroot easily overpowers and destroys it. The Pharaoh feels a crushing blow as he loses 2,000 life points and drops to one knee. Once more, the dark aura around Yako grows.
Is that all? I expected more dual energy from the king of duelists.
The Pharaoh stands up.
Dual energy? Is that how the Pyramid of Light generates the power to resurrect someone?
An astute observation, Yugi. Think of it like 3 points to a triangle. On one end is the requisite dual energy to match the spirit energy of the person to revive. On the second end is using any of the wicked gods in the duel to accumulate that energy. Of course, the more wicked gods used, the more dual energy is generated. And on the third end is sacrificing the loser of the duel. These are the 3 conditions to meet to activate the revival powers of the Pyramid of Light.
Is that how you revived Keith?
Correct. When I acquired the power of the Pyramid of Light, I myself didn't believe it, so Richie Merced was my guinea pig. Unfortunately, the energy generated in that duel was only enough to revive a fool like Keith. With you, the clash between our gods will generate enough energy to revive the very man who put his soul into the greatest cards in existence.
Yugi, you can't go through with this. It's too dangerous.
The Pharaoh smiles.
There's no danger at all, Taya. Yako's plan has one fatal flaw. He needs me at my best, and at my best, he can't win.
Then let's see it!
The Pharaoh draws, and Monster reborns a monster he had discarded earlier in the duel, the Winged Dragon of Ra. He calls it forth in its immortal Phoenix mode, incinerating the Wicked Dreadroot. Despite the immense pain inflicted to Yako, he relishes in it as the dark aura around him grows. At the end phase, Ra returns to the graveyard.
Not bad. Now I'll show you mine.
On Yako's turn, he summons the final wicked god, the Wicked Avatar, which first appears as a black ball akin to Ra's sphere mode.
That's it! That's the last one!
But what does it do?
You're about to find out.
Yako activates a card to special summon the Winged Dragon of Ra back to the Pharaoh's field.
You just gave me the most powerful duel monster ever created.
We'll just see about that.
Suddenly, the black ball morphs into a black version of the Winged Dragon of Ra. However, Yako reveals that the Avatar will always have 100 more attack than any other monster on the field.
Oh no. That means nothing can ever beat it!
That's not fair! What's Yugi supposed to do?
Beg for mercy.
Yako attacks and destroys Ra. At this point, the aura around him is intense enough that everyone else can feel its force. The destruction of Ra severely damages the Pharaoh, knocking him on his back. Yugi asks if he's alright, and the Pharaoh assures him that nothing will stop him. He stands up.
You have to draw the card Ishizu found. I know. It's our only chance.
He closes his eyes and draws. He activates magical stone excavation to retrieve back Monster Reborn from his grave, then uses it to revive Obelisk. The Avatar assumes its form and becomes a black version of Obelisk with 4001 attack. The Pharaoh activates Obelisk effect, tributing 2 monsters to raise its attack to infinity. As nothing can eclipse infinity, the Wicked Avatar's attack becomes infinity as well. But Yako points out that the Avatar is in a higher class than Obelisk, so Avatar won't be destroyed. The Pharaoh smiles and reveals his top deck card.
I activate Divine Evolution!
Yako thinks to himself.
So they did find that card, but only he should have it. That traitor.
Divine Evolution transforms Obelisk the Tormentor into Obelisk the Progenitor, moving it to the same class as Ra and Avatar. The two behemoths clash in a double KO. In the smoke of the destruction, the Pharaoh sees a light emanating from Yako. When the smoke clears, he sees it is the Pyramid of Light, shining a brilliant blue, and the dark aura around Yako has grown larger than ever.
I've done it! I've acquired the requisite dual energy to revive Pegasus. Now all that's left is defeating you on my next turn.
There won't be a next turn.
The Pharaoh activates his final set card, Soul Robe. Since Obelisk was destroyed, he can special summon Gazelle, the king of mythical beasts, from his deck and strikes for game. The Pharaoh falls to his knees at the conclusion of the duel. Taya asks if he's okay, but the Pharaoh assures her he's fine and the duel simply took a massive toll on his body. Yako flashes a sinister smile. Now when he speaks, his voice sounds much deeper, like a completely different person.
Thank you, Pharaoh. The pieces are now in place to revive my true self.
True self?
Let me show you what I mean.
The Pyramid of Light produces a blinding light as the true voice of Yako can be heard screaming. When the light fades, a completely different being is standing before them, far more muscular and imposing, with the Pyramid of Light now hanging around his neck.
I have finally been reborn.
My Pharaoh, this is the man depicted in the slab. This is Anubis.
Yes, and I have you and that foolish mortal to thank for bringing me back to life.
But how?
Dual energy. I am aware you have lost your memories, so allow me to remind you of our battle.
Anubis explains that 3,000 years ago, the Pharaoh's father and his court decimated countless armies and nations with the might of the Millennium items. Thousands of lives, thousands of angered spirits thirsting for revenge. Anubis oversaw the funeral rites of so many people that he had earned the nickname Anubis. Eventually, with his tribe down to a handful, he sought out an answer to the Millennium items and came upon the tome that carried the instructions for their creation, the Millennium Spellbook. Within its pages, he discovered the answer. By concentrating the negative energy of the dead, he used it to create the counterpart to the greatest of the Millennium items, the Pyramid of Light, which then gave him the power of the negative Egyptian gods, the wicked gods. By this time, the Pharaoh's father had passed, allowing his son to take the throne. Thus, Anubis waged battle against him. Back then, the Pharaoh managed to lock Anubis away into the Pyramid of Light and sealed his tomb with the powers of Slifer, Obelisk, and Ra. And the only way those seals could be undone was with the negative equivalent, the force of the wicked gods. 3,000 years later, Yako stumbled across the tomb with the cards representing the wicked gods that contained their spirits. The moment he held them up to the tomb, the seals broke. He acquired the Pyramid of Light and within it, Anubis' soul. Anubis promised Yako that by dueling the wielder of the Egyptian gods, they could generate enough dual energy to revive his father. Little did he know, the sheer amount of energy generated by 6 gods battling wasn't for a mere mortal like Pegasus, but to recreate Anubis. All that needed to be done was to sacrifice the loser of the duel.
Now I'll finish what that pathetic human started. Get ready, Pharaoh. It is time for my revenge.
Anubis readies his duel disc. The Pharaoh tries to stand up, but immediately collapses to his knees again. Yugi asks if he's alright. The Pharaoh says the prior duel with 6 god cards took its toll, but that he'll be fine. Yugi is worried that dueling such a powerful foe will be dangerous if the Pharaoh is already starting on his last breath.
You just fought the most intense duel I've ever seen, Yug. Let me handle this one.
Joey readies his duel disc, then Mai readies hers.
You're not dueling this creep by yourself.
It makes no difference how many of you duel. You will all fall before me.
Anubis unleashes a powerful dark force that knocks Joey, Mai, and everyone else off their feet.
Is the mighty Pharaoh content with having these weaklings duel in his place?
The only one who can defeat Yugi is me.
Everyone turns around to see a familiar face to match the familiar voice.
It's Kaiba!
Well, well, if it isn't the reincarnation of Priest Seto, this might be an acceptable challenge.
Save it. I don't care for your ancient history lessons, and I never did. But if you miss it so much, I'm more than happy to knock you back into the Stone Age.
As arrogant as ever, Priest. Need I remind you that in your prior life you were no match for me?
And need I remind you that in this life, no one is a match for Seto Kaiba?
Kaiba readies his duel disc, and both he and Anubis say,
Duel!
Kaiba attempts to go for the jugular right away with his crush card combo, but Anubis is one step ahead and blocks it. Still, Kaiba has Anubis on his back foot by pressing him with XYZ Dragon Cannon and additional beaters, destroying monster after monster that Anubis throws down.
I expected a better challenge from someone with god cards. But I guess when vermin have been eating your organs for 3,000 years, that doesn't leave you with much of a brain.
This is only the beginning, priest. Now I play the card of your demise.
As he says that, his face-down continuous trap activates Pyramid of Light. A massive blue pyramid overtakes the duel arena, enclosing everyone in an ethereal space.
So you got a shiny triangle. Is that supposed to scare me?
It will when you learn its effect.
Anubis reveals that the Pyramid of Light allows him to once per turn banish 3 monsters from the graveyards to special summon a wicked god from his hand.
You want a challenge? Then feast your eyes on the wicked Eraser.
Eraser gains 1,000 attack per card the opponent controls. While Kaiba only has 1 card on the field, Eraser jumps to 3,000 attack since XYZ Dragon Cannon is treated as 3 cards. Eraser destroys XYZ Dragon Cannon, and Anubis passes to Kaiba.
That's why he let Kaiba destroy all those monsters. He was loading up the graveyards for his pyramid.
A fool like him understood the strategy. So why couldn't you, priest?
Please. If I took advice from Wheeler, I'd be running pathetic cards like Landstar. My draw!
Kaiba draws and summons Kaiser Seahorse in defense, then sets 1 card. On Anubis' next turn, he again activates the effect of Pyramid of Light to banish 3 monsters from the graves and calls forth the wicked Dreadroot. Its effect begins to apply, reducing Eraser to 1,000 attack and halving Seahorse to 825 defense. Anubis attacks Kaiser Seahorse with Eraser.
Atimu Obelisk. How cute. Go! Attack Guidance Armor!
Kaiba attempts to equip the armor to Dreadroot, but Anubis scoffs.
Fool! Pyramid of Light protects the wicked gods from your effects.
You forgot one thing, meathead. Now your Slifer wannabe doesn't have enough power to destroy my Seahorse.
With just 1 card left on Kaiba's field and Dreadroot's effect applied, Eraser is now down to 500 against the Seahorse's 825, causing Anubis to lose 325 life points and leaving him with just 575. Anubis then destroys the Seahorse with Dreadroot and sets a card.
Well, priest, perhaps you should call in a real duelist, like the Pharaoh.
Uh-oh.
What?
Oh, you see? You messed up, Anubis. You pressed the Yugi button.
Excuse me, the what?
You shouldn't have did that.
Kaiba draws and sets 2 cards. He activates Card of Demise to draw until he has 5 cards in hand. He then activates Polymerization to fuse the 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons in his hand and call forth Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon.
Let's see how your knockoff gods fare against a real monster. Go! My Ultimate Dragon! Neutron Blast his Eraser to dust!
The Ultimate Dragon charges its attack and fires.
Wishful thinking.
Anubis activates his face-down negate attack and ends the battle phase.
Anything else before I crush you?
The only thing you're crushing is steroids.
Kaiba sets 1 more card face down and ends his turn.
The loudest ones always go out with a whimper.
Anubis draws and once again activates the effect of Pyramid of Light, banishing Kaiba's 3 Blue Eyes from the grave to summon the final wicked god, Avatar. Avatar takes the form of Dreadroot and comes out at 4,100 attack.
Is Dreadroot a deadbeat, or is it gonna do its job?
Kaiba asks, pointing to how Avatar's attack is not halved. Anubis explains to Kaiba the hierarchy and how Avatar is unaffected by Dreadroot and Eraser since it is a class above.
You have a lot to learn about hierarchies. Perhaps if you had learned your place under the Pharaoh, you wouldn't be staring at your end. Avatar, destroy his pathetic dragon!
The wicked Avatar attacks, destroying the Ultimate Dragon, which is halved at 2250, inflicting 1850 to Kaiba.
Eraser, attack the priest!
With 2 cards on Kaiba's field, he takes 2,000 damage, putting him at 150 life points.
Consider yourself lucky. Not everyone has the honor of meeting their end at the hands of all 3 wicked gods. Dreadroot, finish him off.
Like it would be that easy. I activate Command Silencer!
Once more you failed to understand. Pyramid of Light makes my wicked gods immune to your effects.
This doesn't affect your monster. It affects your ability to declare an attack, because now your monster can't hear it.
So these are the pitiful tricks the priest must resort to in order to prolong his defeat. I thought you had more dignity than this.
The only dignity is in crushing my opponent.
Then let's see it, priest. But this will be your last move, so make it count.
Kaiba draws Pot of Greed and activates it, drawing 2 cards. With the second, he feels the pulse of the card. It's the one that green-haired man had given him. Kaiba thinks back to that night in his office, when the man had told him about the 3 wicked gods Pegasus had created as a counter to the Egyptian gods, but upon their design, realized they too were just as dangerous.
With 6 powerful god cards potentially in play, Pegasus needed a force of light to counter their divine force.
Did he finally realize they're cardboard and the only force of light needed is a fire?
I realize you're not one to give credence to the legacy of Duel Monsters, but the answer Pegasus arrived at should please you.
The man handed him the card.
With this, even the divine beasts won't stand in your way.
And you're just giving it to me.
I do have a favor. Please, go to Pegasus's castle. You'll need to duel whoever wields the wicked gods, and this is the only card that will guarantee victory against them.
The scene comes back to the duel. Kaiba thinks to himself that if he wins the duel, this new card will be his for keeps, and he'll be guaranteed to defeat Yugi. He activates Monster Reborn to revive his Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon.
We've been down this road before, priest. But if you insist on perishing alongside your beloved beast, who am I to deny a dying man's wish?
You haven't seen anything yet, you freak. The Ultimate Dragon is just the start of what my deck can do. Now, I offer it as a tribute!
He's tributing his ultimate dragon?
That's it, he's officially lost it!
No, look at his eyes. He has the answer.
I summon Blue Eyes Shining Dragon!
The lustrous dragon soars into the arena and gains 300 attack for every dragon in the grave, putting it at 3,300 as all the other dragons have been banished by the Pyramid of Light.
A valiant attempt, but Dreadroot will have his attack.
Looks like you fell asleep during that part of the pecking order lecture. Pegasus molded Blue Eyes Shining from the most powerful form of Blue Eyes, rivaling that of the gods.
You mean?
That's right. Your gods have no effect on the Shining Dragon.
It hardly matters. You still have a lot to learn about my pyramid. When all 3 wicked gods are on my field, Pyramid of Light allows me to select your attack targets.
But that's not fair. It protects him from all effects, and if he wants to attack, Avatar's always the strongest monster.
Once again, you and Wheeler are 2 peas in a third-rate pod. I'm not after your great value gods.
Blue Eyes Shining begins to glow.
Your dragon, what's it doing?
Blue Eyes Shining can tribute itself to destroy any card on the field, and I choose Pyramid of Light. Go, my dragon, Shining Nova!
Blue Eyes Shining Dragon erupts into a brilliant blue stream and charges straight into the top of the pyramid, shattering it. As it comes crashing down, the shards pierce the wicked gods and they are all removed from the game, meaning Eraser's effect didn't activate to destroy the remaining cards on the field. When the debris settles, Kaiba laughs.
Ha 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 ha! Why are you mad, Anubis? Isn't that how they did it back then? Burying things under pyramids?
You will pay for your insolence.
You're in no position to make threats. I activate my final face-down card. You're going to regret removing all my monsters from play.
What?
Kaiba's set card activates. It is Return from the Different Dimension, allowing him to special summon as many of his removed from play monsters as possible. Of course, he only needs 3.
Come forth, my Blue Eyes White Dragons!
All 3 white dragons take the field, and Kaiba declares the attack. Anubis has no cards remaining on his field and barks.
Priest, you haven't seen the last of me.
Go cry to your mummy.
All three Blue Eyes launch their burst streams and wipe out Anubis' life points. A dark aura encapsulates his body, and upon fading, Anubis has vanished, and Yako lays unconscious in his place. The gang congratulates Kaiba on a great victory. Then Merrick asks,
But where did you get the Shining Dragon? I had never heard of a card on level with the gods.
Kaiba points with his thumb over his shoulder.
That green-haired kid gave it to me.
What? But he was trying to destroy us this whole time!
This doesn't make any sense. Why would the same man trying to destroy us also help us?
Perhaps I can answer that.
Everyone turns to see a figure who looks just like Yako standing next to the unconscious one.
I'm gonna guess they're twins.
That's right. This is my brother Yako, and I'm Gecko. We were among several children Pegasus adopted after he built his fortune. You can imagine our shock when we learned of his death.
But if your brother was trying to kill us, why were you helping us?
Precisely because of my brother's actions.
Yako explains that he and his brother both expressed interest in finding a way to resurrect their father in much the same way he tried to resurrect Cecilia. But when they found Pegasus' notes about Anubis' tomb and the 3 wicked god cards, they found that Pegasus had not finished their creation out of fear of their power.
Unfortunately, my brother was fine with taking the risk if it meant seeing our father again.
Gecko furthers that Yako had finished the creation of the wicked god cards and went to the tomb of Anubis behind his back. By the time Gecko had learned of this, it was too late to stop the awakening of Anubis. So Gecko turned his focus to creating a more proper counter to the god cards, and entrusting them to the 2 duelists he felt could stand up to the wicked gods. Thus, he created Divine Evolution and left it for Yugi and Blue Eye Shining Dragon and gave it to Kaiba.
The Shining Dragon was my father's true answer to the wrath of the god cards, and the final card he ever created.
Kaiba holds up Blue Eye Shining Dragon.
Guess he wasn't completely off his rocker then.
I am so sorry for the trouble my brother has caused. But hopefully now that the darkness of Anubis has been laid to rest, we can both move on.
Well then, now that all of that nonsense is out of the way, it's time for our rematch, Yugi!
Kaiba, Yugi's in no shape to duel right now.
It's alright, Taya. I owe Kaiba. Besides, this new Shining Dragon excites me.
It won't be so exciting when my Shining Dragon crushes you. And when I win, I will reclaim my throne as...
Suddenly, the ground begins to shake and a deep, dark laugh can be heard.
Why do I get the feeling Anubis isn't fine being laid to rest?
The Pyramid of Light. He's still wearing it.
Ishizu points to the unconscious Yako. Instead of glowing, a dark aura emits from the Pyramid of Light, encapsulating nearly the entire room.
What's going on? Didn't Kaiba defeat Anubis?
The laugh grows louder, and Anubis' voice is heard.
I cannot be defeated in a mere game of cards. Behold my true form.
The dark fog shapes itself into the jackal representation of Anubis, dwarfing the arena. A force surges from Anubis, knocking everyone back and sending all the cards in everyone's duel disc flying. Then, the Pyramid of Light retakes form and blocks everyone out except the Pharaoh and Anubis.
Yugi's still in there!
On 3?
Joey says to Tristan. Tristan nods. They both shout.
3!
They charge into the pyramid, but are shocked and pushed back.
Now what?
The 4 friends look at each other and cry out.
Yugi!
The jackal form of Anubis stares down the Pharaoh, who is now dressed in his ancient Egyptian attire.
Well, Pharaoh, it is your true form versus mine. But what will you do now that the monsters are real?
If the monsters are real, then you'll have to answer to the greatest of them.
The Pharaoh has recovered enough of his strength now. He holds up the Millennium Puzzle.
Go! Slifer the Sky Dragon, Obelisk the Tormentor, and the Winged Dragon of Ra!
These 3 are nothing compared to the wicked gods.
Anubis conjures the Wicked Eraser, the Wicked Dreadroot, and the Wicked Avatar, which takes the form of a black Winged Dragon of Ra. Each monster clashes with its counterpart, but after a few moments, it's clear that the wicked gods have a slight advantage.
Once I dispense with you, I will crush the priest and all your little friends, and then the world will be mine.
The Pharaoh winces in pain with each blow his monsters take, unable to think of a way around this. The scene pans back to outside. Marek turns to Gecko.
Gecko, there has to be a way for us to break through the pyramid and help the Pharaoh. Did Pegasus find any weaknesses with the pyramid?
Gecko shakes his head.
The only ones who may be allowed to enter the Pyramid of Light are those connected to the ancient past.
Then Marek and I shall try.
Ishizu and Marek try breaking through, but are pushed back by the same electric force as Joey and Tristan.
It may not work for us Tomb Keepers, but perhaps the reincarnation of Priest Seto may have better luck.
Oh, please. When will you all finally get it through your heads that I'm not a reincarnated priest, let alone a right-hand man to some ancient version of Yugi?
Then prove us wrong. If you're so sure you got nothing to do with this, try entering the pyramid. Because if you're just like us, it'll knock you back too.
I don't take orders from dogs, Wheeler. But if it'll shut you all up once and for all, then here I go!
Kaiba runs into the pyramid. He too is shocked and pushed back.
Darn. I really thought that would have worked.
Can't believe I even entertained this nonsense. I'll be sending you the bill for this burn on my coat.
It was Tristan's idea.
But why didn't it work? Kaiba is undoubtedly the reincarnation of Priest Seto.
Gecko is quiet, unable to come up with an answer. But then, a whisper is heard. It's Yako, who has regained consciousness. He slowly raises his limp hand toward Ishizu.
Divine evolution. Ah, I see. Perhaps only a certain status of individual can enter upon the pyramid.
What do you mean?
The Divine Evolution card has the ability to raise Slifer and Obelisk to the level of Ra, just as it raised Dreadroot and Eraser to Avatar. So if it can raise the rank of a god monster to the highest point on the hierarchy, then perhaps
it can raise a priest to Pharaoh. Kaiba, after the nameless Pharaoh sealed himself in the Millennium Puzzle to save the world, it was Priest Seto who took the throne.
Thanks for the history lesson. But what's your point?
Let me put it in terms you might agree with. This is your chance to succeed, Yugi, for the title of king.
Everyone looks at Kaiba, awaiting his inevitably snarky reply. He flashes his typical smug smile.
Well, when you put it like that, I guess I can't disagree.
But the card, where is it?
When Anubis reappeared, all the cards went flying.
Everyone, look for Divine Evolution!
Everyone digs through as quick as they can. Kaiba finds Blue Eye's Shining Dragon. Marek, Mai, and Joey each stumble upon a blank white card. Marek surmises that these are the 3 Egyptian god cards and that the Pharaoh has channeled their spirits to fight Anubis within the pyramid.
I found it!
Taya runs to hand the card to Ishizu.
Are you ready, Kaiba?
I don't need to prepare for my birthright. Just do it!
I activate Divine Evolution.
Ishizu places it on her dual disc, and a flashing green light appears with a yellow circle embroidered by hieratic text. The circle ascends through Kaiba, and as it moves from toe to head, Kaiba transforms inch by inch until he too is dressed in ancient Egyptian attire.
Nice getup, Kaiba.
If I'm allegedly a pharaoh now, then I command you to be quiet.
Kaiba, please try breaking through the pyramid again.
I never want to hear from you geeks ever again that I never helped.
Kaiba readies himself and runs at the pyramid, and this time, he is able to charge through.
So, does that mean Kaiba actually is a pharaoh?
Like he needs another reason to inflate that giant head A's. Hey, weren't you told to be silent by the Pharaoh himself?
Tristan jumps on Joey and gives him a noogie.
So let it be written, so let it be done.
Knock it off, guys. We need to focus our energy on supporting Yugi and Kaiba.
The remaining group looks at the pyramid with anticipation and worry as the fate of the world is now in the hands of the 2 pharaohs. The pharaoh is on a knee with Slifer, Obelisk, and Ra laying on the ground.
My, how the mighty have fallen.
I don't understand. If the Egyptian gods defeated your wicked ones 3,000 years ago, what made them so much stronger now?
Dual energy, of course.
Anubis explains that the energy generated in each duel with a wicked god not only revived him, but it powered the Pyramid of Light, which in turn powers the wicked gods. The Pyramid of Light has the limitless potential to grow in strength with each slain soul. That's what makes it the perfect counter to the Millennium items, which were themselves created by destroying an entire village. That's why Pegasus first looked to the wicked gods as the answer to the Egyptian gods. Meanwhile, the Pharaoh's energy was drained in his duel with Yako.
By now, you're no match for me.
This isn't over, Anubis.
The Pharaoh stands up.
Justice will prevail.
At that moment, Kaiba enters into the pyramid.
What's this? How did you enter upon this realm? It is reserved only for the rank of Pharaoh and the gods.
The Pharaoh is astonished to see Kaiba in the same type of clothes he's wearing.
Kaiba, is that you?
Looks like we both went to the same Halloween store. Look, let's just go ahead and finish this so we can get on with our duel.
Do you believe in your ancient past, then?
The only thing I believe in is my future. And my future is shining!
Kaiba holds up a card. Blue-Eye Shining Dragon bursts forth.
Your dragon will be no match for the wicked gods this time.
We'll see about that! Go! Shining Neutron Blast!
The Shining Dragon launches 3 attacks with its mouth, one for each of the wicked gods. Avatar takes the form of a black Blue-Eye Shining Dragon and counters with its own 3 blasts, mitigating the originals. The monsters charge at each other. Shining holds its own, but eventually, it too begins to succumb to the combined might of the wicked gods.
Kaiba, we have to work together to defeat him. Our 4 monsters together can defeat his 3.
I defeated this freak show by myself once before. I can do it again.
Blue-Eye Shining Dragon charges in again, but once more is dismissed, even more easily this time. Kaiba is knocked onto his back.
I hope you savored your last victory, because it is time for you to meet your end, priest.
Kaiba slowly gets back up.
I'm no priest. I'm no Pharaoh. I'm Seto Kaiba!
Blue-Eye Shining shines brighter than before.
Kaiba, please, let's work together!
The owner of the Egyptian god cards is asking for my help?
His Pyramid of Light has empowered the wicked gods to a level beyond the Egyptian gods.
Then what do you suppose we do?
It's just like your duel. If your dragon can take out the pyramid, Slifer, Obelisk, and Ra can overpower the wicked gods.
Are you sure about that?
It's our only chance.
Fine. That thing is an eyesore anyway. Go, my dragon! Destroy the Pyramid of Light with Shining Nova!
I won't let you destroy it again.
Anubis sends his 3 wicked gods to intercept the blast, but as they are charging to the sky, the Pharaoh shouts,
"Go, my divine beasts!"
Each of the 3 tackle their respective counterparts, leaving a wide open path to the top of the pyramid.
No, not again!
Blue-Eye Shining glows, and a bright light bursts from its chest, destroying itself and once more shattering the Pyramid of Light. Not only the giant one encasing them from the world, but the one around Anubis' neck as well. As the Pyramid of Light is destroyed, the wicked gods all fall to the ground, and everyone that was outside can see the battle.
Yugi!
We've got your back, dude!
This still isn't over. My wicked gods will prevail.
Don't count on it, Anubis. With the power of my friends supporting me, I can infuse the Egyptian gods with a might far greater than the dual energy gathered by the Pyramid of Light. Slifer, Obelisk, Ra! Destroy the wicked gods and Anubis once and for all!
The 6 gods charge at each other again, and this time, Obelisk's Fist of Fate crushes Dreadroot to dust, Slifer's Thunder Force electrocutes Eraser to smoke, and Phoenix Ra incinerates Avatar to ash. With the wicked gods defeated and the Pyramid of Light destroyed, Anubis falls to the ground, first morphing back into his human form, then melting, until he is nothing.
You both did it. You defeated Anubis for good.
We do make a pretty good team.
The Pharaoh shrugs with a smile. Kaiba breaks a slight smile as well.
Hey, what happened to the ancient threads?
Joey asked, pointing out that Kaiba, as well as Yugi, are back in their regular clothes.
And I could have sworn you were wearing a dog outfit.
Oh, why you? Let him have this one, Joey. He did just save the world and all.
Marek hands the Pharaoh the 3 Egyptian god cards.
I trust they served you well, my Pharaoh.
It wasn't them alone. Kaiba's Shining Dragon broke the pyramid.
That's right. And now that I have the most powerful card Pegasus ever created, I can... What the? It's blank!
Kaiba holds up the card formerly depicting Blue Eye Shining Dragon, now just a white template. He turns to see that the Egyptian god cards have been restored. He points to Gecko.
You promised me this card if I defeated the wicked gods. Explain yourself, Gecko.
Perhaps sacrificing it in a real battle of monsters drained the card form of all its energy that Pegasus had infused it with. Or perhaps, as Pegasus had hoped, it served its purpose of saving the world from the god cards.
Is this your idea of a joke?
Kaiba furiously turns to leave.
Yugi, we will duel once again. And when we do, I'll have found a new way to take down those Egyptian god cards.
I look forward to it, Kaiba.
Kaiba grunts and walks off, and the Pharaoh turns back into Yugi and looks at everyone else.
But as long as I have friends like you all, there's no way I'll lose.
Yako walks with the help of his brother toward Yugi and friends.
Yugi, I am so sorry for all the damage I've caused. Everything you did today, saving me from Anubis and destroying him. It was foolish of me to believe a true duelist like you was behind my father's death.
It's okay, Yako. I'm sorry about what happened to Pegasus. And I promise we'll do our best to find the one responsible.
I trust you, and I now realize that the best way to show love for the dead is to honor them, not trying to bring them back.
Well, I know the perfect way to honor Pegasus.
Joey says as he raises his duel disc. Yugi and Mai raise theirs too and all say in unison,
It's time to duel!